NFC playoff teams from a year ago are a combined 6-12 through 3 weeks of NFL play? I need some answers, Sid. I need someone to help me out.
Well, I can't give you a damn thing. Who do we have on the line? Okay, he's way smarter than me.
Right.
Former NFL Coach of the Year. Friend of the show. It's been a while. Too long. Jim Fassel. Jim, welcome back. How you doing?
Good morning, guys. And listen to you. You guys are keeping busy this morning.
Yeah,
there's nothing like a hockey brawl in this city, Jim. I'll tell you. Goodness gracious, it's like Red Sox Yankees going at it in the New York media. It's just we feed on this for the next week.
Might as well have been Pedro Martinez and Don Zimmer.
Yep.
Jim, let's. I'm gonna start with a team you know very, very well in the New York Giants, and we've seen bad performances before. We've seen off days before. That performance yesterday in Carolina walked up to, if not crossed the line of an embarrassment. What is the deal offensively with that team? Why can't they get going?
I don't know. They just, there's so many things. I mean, I was just shocked watching that game. I haven't seen a team play like that in a long time. And you'd think, I think it's overblown. Okay. How players react and motivate. Tom Coughlin lost his brother and stuff. That might play into it a little bit. But, I mean, just for the pride of it. But, oh, my gosh, I mean, they had breakdowns all over the place. I mean, it wasn't everybody's fingering the offensive line. And but Eli Manning, I mean, he looked like when he dropped back, he was waiting for somebody to hit him. And defensively, I mean, Carolina is not going to the Super Bowl. At least I don't think they are.
No, they lost to Buffalo.
They just trashed them.
Yeah. Jim Fassel joining us here. Is the good news in this that it seems like maybe 8-8 wins that division this year? Like no one's, I guess the Cowboys are the division leader and de facto favorites now because of the way they've started with a 2-1?
Well, when you analyze the whole division, I mean, between the Giants and the Redskins, they're 0-6. And a lot of them aren't even close. I mean, they get blown out, but at the end of the day, Philly's, they got a lot to show me. I love the offense. I want to see it, but I'm still not jumping overboard that offense is going to be dramatic. I mean, they have had the first half of phenomenal offense. After that, it hasn't been anything special. And the bottom line is, if you still look at teams that really win, they got a good defense. They have a good defense. And so, by default, the Cowboys are the team that should win that division.
Jim, just going through some of the quotes, obviously a lot of teams meeting with the media this morning and giving their morning after takes. I just read from Redskins camp, and Timmy, I'm throwing this to you too. Pierre Garçon just told the media he is not convinced RG3 is completely healthy. Do you agree with him?
Well, not being in the room and not being a part of the medical reports and seeing practice, he doesn't look like the same. Now, it could be that he is not healthy. It could be that they're trying to make sure he lasts the season, and they're very protective. He doesn't look as aggressive as he was a year ago, just freelancing. I mean, run with the football, throw it. Everything looks just out of sync for him. But now, with that said, I think Mike Shanahan was correct in holding him back in the preseason. But you need the preseason. You really need it for a quarterback. I mean, other guys can go in and play. That quarterback needs that rush around him and get and all that to be effective. And when he missed that, I mean, that could be a problem. Maybe he's not healthy. Maybe their offense is trying to protect him. And it could be a culmination of all of it.
Jim Fassel joining us here on Tim and Sid. There was a point that, and I wish I could remember who the Lions defensive lineman who was chasing Robert Griffin III. And he's, when he caught him from behind, and I can't remember who it was, but a D lineman caught him from behind. I thought, this is not the same Robert Griffin III that I saw last year. There's no way at 100% any D lineman can catch him.
No, and I agree with you. I saw that too, and I don't know who the guy is, but he didn't look like the same guy. Now, again, it could be that he's injured, and it could be that he's just being so cautious.
Right.
So cautious. But the thing that perplexes me is, what ended up the game changer was when he dove head first.
Yeah, fumbled.
You don't go head first, period. And you're down when you slide feet first, and that would have been plenty, for that. I can tell you this, though, but there's some quarterbacks, like when I was in Denver with John Elway, we worked on it a little bit, not a lot, but we worked on feet first sliding, and then lay your head back. lay your head back. And John told me, he said, Jim, I'm going to get hit worse. I said, you won't if you put your head back. Now, if you slide like you're going into second base and you're half sitting up, yeah, some guy's going to take a shot at you. But now they've changed the rules. But, I mean,
Right.
to me, I'm just guessing at it. I don't think he knew the rule, period.
And John Elway heeded your advice until that one moment, the Super Bowl, when it's spinning like a helicopter.
And rallied his boys.
Yeah, well, I remember John also told me one time when I told him he threw a great pass down the field and he hit the guy. I said, and now keep that ball down just a little bit more, which was a great throw by 99% of the quarterbacks. And I told him, keep it down just a little bit more. And we had a great relationship. He looked at me and smiled and he says, hey, Jim, remember this. Those who can play. Those who can't.
Oh, man. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's classic Elway.
I'm going to have him, I don't know if you guys know, ESPN's giving my own radio show, starts this Saturday mornings, and John's going to be my first guest.
Oh, nice.
Good guest. Good guest.
What do those who president do? Because that's what John is.
Yeah, exactly. Jim, last night on national television in the States, kind of an odd one between the Bears and Steelers. Steelers got back into it. Antonio Brown played out of his mind. But the Bears steadied the ship. And up here, as you know, we're pretty familiar with Mark Trestman and what he can bring to the table. In terms of how he is using Jay Cutler and running that team, what differences do you see in Mark compared to Lovie Smith?
Well, I mean, he's running the offense. That's the first and most distinctive. And they went through some, different people. And I don't think protection was the priority. And I think Cutler is not going to last if he keeps taking the hits. He's a tough guy. Now, he's a temperamental guy, too. I mean, he's got to have a kind of a guy around him. And I think Trestman is that kind of I don't want to say politician. That's a worse word. But, that he'll work with him. And what I see they're doing is a lot of quick throws with a solid protection. They're not opening the edges.
Yeah.
They're giving chips by the back and the tight end and making quick throws to get him in a rhythm, especially at the beginning of the game. And I always wanted to do that. If I was playing against a team that could really rush the passer, what I would do is always the first 12, 15 scripted plays, I had a chip on one side, the tight end chip the defensive end, and a back on the other side. And then mentally what happens is those defensive ends saying, hey, wait a minute, are you guys going to chip me all night long? Because if you are, I'm not even going to get a sack. And they mentally kind of shut it down. And when he chips on the edges and throws the ball quick, it gets Cutler into a rhythm. And they move the football, and then he settles into a different type of game plan. That's smart.
Yeah, especially when you have receivers like Bennett and Marshall, who, if you get it in their hands,
and Forte.
Yeah, and there's such great body position guys that they can just 10 yards, 10 yards, 10 yards, and it's tough to stop.
Yeah.
Jim, always a pleasure. Sorry, always a pleasure catching up. Appreciate it, and good luck on the radio show.
All right, thanks, guys. Good to be with you.